Hello everyone, welcome to Super English Grammar. This is part 1 video lecture on the series Advanced English Vocabulary. In this video, you're going to learn 25 plus advanced English words that you can use in place of very plus adjective with exact meaning and easy examples. So take pen and paper so that you can note down the words that are appealing to you. So let's jump into the video. Number 1. Use towering in place of very tall. Very tall means something or someone of great or more than usual height, and towering means extremely tall. Example, Burj Khalifa is a towering building. Thus, towering means extremely tall and can be used in place of very tall. Number 2. Use stingy in place of very mean. Very mean means someone who doesn't want to spend money, and stingy means a close-fisted person, a person who doesn't spend money. Example, John's boss is a stingy fellow. Thus, stingy means close-fisted and can be used in place of very mean. Number 3. Use perplexed in place of very confused. Very confused means someone who is unable to understand or think clearly, and perplexed means of a person unable to think clearly, logically, and decisively. Example, the students were completely perplexed after hearing the questions. Thus, perplexed means very confused. Number 4. Use perilous in place of very risky. Very risky means full of the possibility of danger, failure, or loss, and perilous means extremely dangerous or risky. Example, the journey John undertook last year was quite perilous. Thus, perilous means extremely dangerous and can be used in place of very risky. Number 5. Use minuscule in place of very small. Very small means of a size less than usual, and minuscule means extremely small or tiny. Example, John had run out of food. He ate only 2 minuscule pieces of cake. Thus, minuscule means extremely small and can be used instead of very small. Number 6. Use mind-numbing in place of very boring. Very boring means something not interesting, and mind-numbing means extremely boring. Example, it was such a mind-numbing film that I nearly fell asleep during it. Thus, mind-numbing means extremely dull and boring and can be used in place of very boring. Number 7. Use deafening in place of very noisy. Very noisy means making a lot of noise, and deafening means making so much noise as to make it impossible to hear anything else. Example, the singer got a deafening applause from the audience. Thus, deafening means extremely noisy and can be used instead of very noisy. Number 8. Use gleaming in place of very shiny. Very shiny means of a surface reflecting light because it's very clean, and gleaming means very clean or shining. Example, those white shoes are gleaming. Thus, gleaming means very bright and clean and can be used in place of very shiny. Number 9. Use huge in place of very large. Very large means something of a great size, extent, or capacity, and huge means something extremely large or enormous. Example, Burj Khalifa is a huge building. Thus, huge means extremely great size and can be used instead of very large. Number 10. Use obese in place of very fat. Very fat means a person or animal having excessive flesh, and obese means extremely fat. Example: John has grown obese. Thus, obese means overweight or extremely fat and can be used instead of very fat. Number 11. Use affluent in place of very rich. Very rich means someone who has an abundance of wealth, and affluent also means someone who has a lot of wealth. Example: John owns three huge companies. He is really an affluent person. Thus, affluent means very rich. Number 12. Use hilarious in place of very funny. Very funny means something comical that causes great laughter or amusement, and hilarious means something extremely amusing. Example: his jokes are really hilarious. Thus, hilarious means something causing a great laughter and can be used in place of very funny. Number 13. Use hideous in place of very ugly. Very ugly means something or someone who is unpleasant and unattractive in appearance, and hideous means extremely ugly. Example: the washroom was absolutely hideous. Thus, hideous means very unattractive and can be used in place of very ugly. Number 14. Use brief in place of very short. Very short in this context means something not lasting for long or something of little length, and brief means something that doesn't last for long. Example: John made a brief visit to his old house. Thus, brief means not lasting and can be used in place of very short. Number 15. Use desolate in place of very sad. Very sad means feeling great unhappiness, and desolate also means feeling great unhappiness, misery, and loneliness. Example: John felt desolate after his father died. Thus, desolate means extremely unhappy and can be used in place of very sad. Number 16. Use freezing in place of very cold. Very cold means very low temperature which causes trembling, and freezing means extremely cold causing trembling. Example: today is freezing. Thus, freezing means having low temperature causing trembling and can be used in place of very, very cold. Number 17. Use effortless in place of very easy. Very easy means something that can be done or achieved without great effort, and effortless means something that doesn't require great physical or mental exertion. Example: for me, writing an essay is effortless. Thus, effortless means extremely easy and can be used in place of very easy. Number 18. Use fatigued in place of very tired. Very tired means drained or strength, vitality, and energy because of arduous effort. And fatigued means extremely tired due to physical or mental exertion. Example: he was fatigued by the arduous journey he undertook last week. Thus, fatigued means very tired. Number 19. Use atrocious in place of very bad. Very bad means of a low standard or quality, and atrocious means extremely bad. Example: some poets attempted atrocious imitation of good poetry. Thus, atrocious means having extremely poor quality and can be used instead of very bad. Number 20. Use indolent in place of very lazy. Very lazy means not willing to work or use energy, and indolent means wanting to avoid physical or mental exertion. Example: John doesn't want to engage himself in any work. He is really an indolent fellow. Thus, indolent means very lazy. Number 21. Use destitute in place of very poor. Very poor means someone who doesn't have wealth, and destitute means extremely poor, someone who doesn't have wealth. Example: the flood made thousands of people destitute. Thus, destitute means describing penniless condition and can be used in place of very poor. Number 22. Use furious in place of very angry. Very angry means a strong feeling that makes you want to hurt someone. And furious means extremely angry or having a strong feeling of anger. Example: John is now furious. Don't come close to him. Thus, furious means full of anger and can be used in place of very angry. Number 23. Use gorgeous in place of very beautiful. Very beautiful means something or someone who is very attractive, and gorgeous means very pleasant and attractive. Example: your baby is absolutely gorgeous. Thus, gorgeous means something or someone who is very beautiful and can be used in place of very beautiful. Number 24. Use costly in place of very expensive. Very expensive means something that's very high priced, and costly means something that costs you a lot. Example: iPhone is a costly cell phone. Thus, costly means very high priced and can be used in place of very expensive. Number 25. Use essential in place of very important. Very important means something highly necessary, and essential means something extremely necessary. Example: good vision is essential for a pilot. Thus, essential means something that's needed very much and can be used instead of very important. Number 26. Use cutthroat in place of very competitive. Very competitive means something highly demanded, and cutthroat also means highly demanded. Example: IELTS is one of the most cutthroat exams in the world. Thus, cutthroat means something that people want very much.